this group over here kind of was standing there confused, maybe, or how you felt when you were doing it.
You noticed, I think, as we went along, we got more into phrases where we started off with single words, and as we got to the end, we started stretching it out more.
Good. Yeah.
We got stuck on the color, so we decided to move on and then come back to it, and that worked.
Oh, that's a good idea. Good.
Yeah, we did a lot of that. We went back and forth and back and forth. As ideas came, we stuck them into the places.
Okay.
I had sort of the most aha moment when I actually saw the child's poem.
Oh, good.
To see,
good.
oh wow, here you're almost creating a new word bank. You're coming up with more metaphors for what it means to be frightened. Or,
good.
So that was great.
Yeah, we saw the kids' work and went back and wanted to revise ours.
I also noticed the differences of what you put in compared to what fourth graders put in. There's a lot of alcohol talk in there. But did anyone notice anything from the kids' work, from their poems? Did you?
Yeah, our example was way better than ours.
Machine Gun Down by Rockefeller's Cops in 1914 forms abstract, expressionist smears on canvases hung on the boardroom walls of Chase Manhattan.
Gathering together the xylophones, the sheet music, the guitar, fiddle, and drum. Gathering together the snacks, the toothbrushes, the sleeping bags, pillows, and stuffed animals. Don't forget the map, bathing suits, the beer. We're heading down the highway, bopping to the beat of the radio, dancing in our seats to the radio, anticipating reaching the place where our feet dance down the beaten paths to the music in the air, in the ponds, in the hearts of those gathered together there. The highway is wide and long, but after a year and a day of waiting for the moment when we exit off the ramp again, where the roads become more familial as they get smaller and smaller, the houses get closer and closer together as if gathering folks in.
I used to teach preschool, and I can see how there's like this transition from the knock knock who's there, hat who. You have a hat on your head. You know, they've got the structure. But they don't understand.
Well, that was pretty funny. We all
You know, they don't get the wordplay piece of it. And you can see when you start telling jokes who's sort of getting those higher order thinking skills.
Right.
And you know, they understand that it's funny, but they don't know why. And it's really interesting to watch as it develops. And, you know, I do see a change in preschool and kindergarten.
But the best knock-knock jokes are the ones that violate the structure. It's a really neat class, and they do all the same great stuff that you kind of need to do in 11th grade English class, as well as having some fun performing and whatnot. So when we do parody, we start by reading Tennessee Williams' The Glass Menagerie. It's a fantastic play. How many people are familiar with it? Oh, good, a lot of you. What you may or may not know is that Christopher Durang, a contemporary playwright, has written a direct parody of The Glass Menagerie. And in a little piece that he wrote about his parody, which I read, he insists that he's not making fun of The Glass Menagerie. He really likes Tennessee Williams and respects his work. He just wanted to do his own. As he's reading The Glass Menagerie, he thinks, wouldn't it be funny if? And so he sort of did his own version of it, and it's hilarious. And so after we read The Glass Menagerie, we start by analyzing the four characters, and we're going to get to that in just a second.
With support from other people, you know, in their content area in order to make it happen. So, you know, if they're not willing to do it, I have to figure out a way to make it happen. So that's my goal.
Like who? Like the art teacher? Like the this
Not
teacher?
even
Like what
just
he
the
was
social
talking about?
studies teacher. Could he do some of the research on his time, and I could do some of the writing up on my time? The science teacher is all for it. We're going to be doing picture books of organisms because I was saying, you know, the 5-paragraph essay, we've kind of done it to death. Maybe if we could do picture books and share them with 2nd and 3rd grade kids about the animals that, and plants, organisms that grow during the vernal pool season in our area, and do a nature study in the spring. If we worked on it through the winter, we'd have this and we could go out with the 2nd or 3rd grade kids.
Yeah,
across the street.
nonfiction books, nonfiction writing.
But that just gave me some great ideas for radio show and newspaper, and so I'm excited.
Yay, good.
And you know what's funny? It probably looks more like a girl in the shadow box. This one was singing.
Yeah.
That you know, you have to
But this is
fit it in
this
the
is
box.
wood.
Let's get the Mustang.
No, is that cellophane or not?
No.
So they do the same thing that we did, our kids did.
Thank you very much. Coming back to this group.
One of the neatest things that we noticed was the language, because Shakespeare, of course, is very frequently difficult to interpret. So the fact that they had paraphrased everything and put it into ways that they could understand, and then we were actually kind of looking at some very specific things in the text back and forth, and they really did a pretty good job in including everything that was said, but making it more understandable.
I can't go on living now. I die. Sleeping, my love. What, are you dead? Tom, wake up. Speak those good.
Yeah, see, I've been tweaking my workshop all along because inevitably somebody does something that I was thinking about as part of my workshop. I will never choose to go in the last week again. But last night, since I couldn't sleep, and I was up till 4, I decided to completely fix my outline agenda, decide where I was going to refer to other people's workshops as a kind of form of shorthand for some. Maybe, you know, even though I've been complaining about, oh, I have to tweak it again, maybe the whole process is giving me a shorthand so that I can really get to my focus better.
Good.
So, I don't know.
Well, there's always the silver lining. That's good.
I still wouldn't choose to go in the last week again. Oh, it's like, when am I going to get to my inquiry project? You know?
I'll be discussing the big picture, extended writing projects today. I was just curious, how many people do extended writing projects that span several weeks at least? Quite a few of you. Okay. In my classroom, I have organized it so I have writing 4 out of 5 days a week. And it's about 45, 50 minutes. And I organized the year so it is about 7 or 8 extended writing projects to span the year. Kind of learning that, wow, all these fairy tales that we know, all these Disney movies that we know, were written 150, 200 years ago, and trying to explain to these kids, this is a story long before. And for someone, high school, maybe examining the historical or social context of the time in Germany when this was being written, you could advance it to that level. That's myths. This folk tales in general can just be adapted, I really think, to any grade level. Tanya.
And I just wanted to add with fairy tales, what's interesting to me is I teach science fiction and fantasy grows from the fairy tales, the small stories, into something bigger, and it has the same characteristics. There's magic, there's this quest, there's a happy ending, there's, to me too, I don't even talk about fairy tales in that class, and maybe I should bring in that component.
So this makes really good professional development. Our 3rd grade, we have common planning time, and we meet once a month for language arts, and part of the things that we do is we take one writer and we bring it and we talk about it and we look at the continuum and we're really building understandings, because you can see based on there that we are pretty close, but there are some disparities, and we're really looking at how we can fine-tune the motor, so to speak, so that when we look at a piece of writing, this becomes really quick. It's not a chore to do when I have 20 of them. I'm filling out a continuum in like 3 minutes or less. I'm reading the piece, and then I know exactly what each of those mean compared to the benchmark, and I'm just highlighting it, and it's done, and it's